a Friday morning and it's time to talk real estate this morning, and Alison joins us in the studio. Good morning.
Good morning, Damo.
How you doing?
Good, you?
I'm not too bad this morning. Now, we've been talking a lot about people renting houses and so forth, but what we haven't really touched on is insurances. So
Yes.
when you're a renter, do you have to have insurance?
You do, and it is so scary, especially after the floods and fires that we've seen over the last few years in the Clarence Valley and Richmond Valley. You need to have contents insurance, so make sure you do. Every smart agent will be making sure that they've told that to the tenant. So landlord insurance, that's very different to tenant insurance. So landlords don't have to have your contents insurance except for carpentry, your flooring, your stove, your hot water system, your aircon. Your stuff is your belongings, so you need to make sure that you've got that covered.
So when you're talking about landlord insurance, that's obviously to, if something goes terribly wrong, if you have a bad tenant or something goes wrong, you've actually got cover.
You do. So you've got a few different things. So you've got to have your building insurance, obviously. The banks will make you if you've got a mortgage anyway. You've got to have your contents as a landlord, which I just said it's your dishwasher, your stove, your hot water system,
Your
and
fridge,
things
your
like
washing
that.
machine.
Yeah. Especially if it's fully furnished, then you've got to actually have that as well. Tenants, if it's fully furnished, they've still got their own jewellery and their own TVs and things. But also landlord insurance, you've got for loss of rent. So even though you've just said it could have been a bad tenant, but it could have been because recently we've had a flexi pipe, actually two properties, a flexi pipe in the vanity burst. They only have 2 to 3 year lifespan, so they're not covered by insurance, but the rest of the damage is. Like your vanity, is damaged, the flooring's damaged, your walls are damaged, the carpet. So you need that, but it's inhabitable, which means you've got no rent coming in at all. And, we're seeing because of all the pandemics, insurances, people to get work here, it could be 18 months until it's fixed. Now, you're not getting rent for those 18 months, so how are you paying your mortgage? So you always take out your rental landlord insurance. It's not anything to do with bad tenancy. It does obviously help, but also because of those little things that can happen.
In regards to that, if you're a landlord and you have your landlord insurance and you have something go wrong like a burst water pipe, but you have a tenant in there, does that cover, or that insurance cover, help the tenant relocate?
No, it doesn't. And that's a really sad thing because we have seen several families become homeless over the last 12 months because of that. And purely it's because, we've had a few for the floods. That was very rare here in the Clarence because the floods were more up in Richmond Valley, as we know, but because of those flexi pipes in the vanity. So we've had several homes tenants become homeless because of that. And, one house had asbestos, so that's still now over 12 months and there's been no tenants there because it's still being fixed. So no, the tenants have no rights when it comes to inhabitable homes. They have to get their stuff and move out, which is extremely sad, especially when there's a housing crisis and it's getting worse. It's really hard. So if I was a tenant, I'd be talking to your insurer when you've got your contents to see what happens in that worst case scenario. And it makes it harder if there's no family and friends where you can go sleep on their couch or have a caravan so it's always good, like we've said every week, make sure you've got a good relationship with your landlord and your agent because they might have something coming up where they can move you straight into and they can transfer your bond as well. So I would still have a good relationship just in case.
All right, excellent. Thank you for your time this morning.
You're welcome. Bye.
Our house in the middle